Magomed Ankalaev defeated Alex Pereira at UFC 313 to become the new UFC light heavyweight champion. See what fighters thought of his performance in the latest edition of MMA Pros React.
Yeah, I thought Ankalaev looked amazing, man. He looked pretty in control almost the entire fight. You know, Pereira had his moments, and he won, I think, a couple of the rounds for sure. But I mean, Ankalaev kind of showed it in the fourth that if he wanted to and needed to, he could just pin Pereira against the fence and win like that. But Ankalaev showed that he's willing to win in more exciting ways, which I think is cool. But to me, that fourth round said a lot, because it was like, hey man, if I want to do this to you, I can. The only reason I'm striking with you is just because I want the fans to have a good time, you know. And I thought that was really cool on Ankalaev's part, and it just shows how good he is too. So an amazing fight. They'll probably do a rematch for that one. Pereira needs to, I think in the back of Pereira's head, he just had that he was just worried about the takedown, you know. And it's not like a big giant voice, but if you have like a little distraction in your voice, like, oh, no, you can't do that, he'll shoot, can't do that, he'll shoot. I've been in those shoes, so I know what it's like to have that tiny little voice in there, and that's just something that you kind of got to learn and get over, I guess.
Like, what is going on? Like, Alex doesn't look like himself, man. Something. Maybe he got hurt. Maybe, I don't know, it's the weight cut. I don't know what it is, but he don't look like himself in there. It's not close. He lost. But, yeah, he lost. Like, clear, you know what I mean? But, yeah, he don't look like himself, man.
Yes, Alex Pereira, you know, is nowadays one of the greatest champions that the UFC ever had. So, Ankalaev did an amazing job, you know. Great game plan, mental, psychological plan, and yes, just congratulations, you know. Congratulations to Ankalaev and Dagestan and to Caucasia once again, you know, to this little area, you know, have one more belt.
I think Poatan looked a little hesitant. You know, usually he kind of walks people down and beats them up, and he doesn't care what you're going to do about it. This time he seemed a bit tentative and hesitant on kind of pulling the trigger, and so you know, it was a little bit disappointing to a certain degree. But Ankalaev is a savage. You know, people, I think, underrate his striking ability. I mean, this guy's good everywhere, and so I think he's a force to be reckoned with at the at that weight class. And I think it's going to be hard for someone to beat him. Although I know there was a little bit of controversy of who won that fight, but you know, that's why you can't leave it to the judges. You gotta go out there and try to kill. And usually Poatan is that guy who goes out there and kills. And so if they have a rematch, I'm looking forward to seeing if he has a little bit more pep in his step.
I think it was a close fight, very close fight. I think Pereira waited a little, but I know it's very hard to fight a guy who wanna hold you on the wall, but he did a very good job defense, the takedowns, you know. But I think Ankalaev start the situation, you know, shooting, and he only defense, and Ankalaev did like a great job holding him on the wall, and a little damage, you know, especially feints, takedowns, and throw punches. This confuse a lot because you never know what's coming. One, you know, the guy kick, shoot, and hands. You know, you need to be attention to everything. This is very hard. The guy like he's very complete guy. You know, do whatever he wanna. This mix it up your mind for sure.
I'm a big Pereira fan because obviously I used to watch him on Glory before he got to, like, anyone knew about him in the UFC. I used to like tune into Glory to watch him because I was a big kickboxing fan. But I think Magomed Ankalaev, he was good, man. He just like he kept it quite in his face. He mixed up the targets. His distance was good. I just thought it was one of them days, man, really, for Pereira. But I think he'll do better if they do a rematch. I think Pereira will do better in the rematch. But it was quite close. But I think Ankalaev did obviously deserve to get the win. But it's pretty close. But I feel like Pereira will do better in the rematch.
Yeah, that was impressive. I thought he was gonna win using his wrestling, but actually he won like with his striking too. He was using also like some cage wrestling things like that, but he won with striking, and it was impressive. I think Alex wasn't. He was walking backwards too much. I don't know why, but that was a little bit weird of him, and I think I don't know if it was his fault or Ankalaev was making him go back. But yeah, it was impressive. It's more on Ankalaev side than Alex fault, you know. So yeah, great performance. I think they should run it back, and I will, of course. I'm gonna go with Alex, but congrats to Ankalaev because he did everything. He did everything perfect.
Yeah, that was, wasn't the most like exciting fight, but Ankalaev, for better or worse, he was like pushing the action. Again, he was smart about like he did try to take him down. He shot an helmet against the cage, and he was engaging on the feet, and like uh Pereira just, I think I could count on one hand the amount of times where, at least from the outside looking in, where it looked like he really committed with strikes. It's like there wasn't a ton of volume, and I don't know if he was like waiting for a good counter strike that just didn't end up being there, or if he was too worried or anticipating the takedown. But he like his takedown defense looked great, but it's just he just needed more offense. You know what I mean? I think if they have that fight again, and Pereira really says I'm gonna go forward and chuck bombs at you and like really throw hands, I think the fight might go a little bit differently. But who knows? Maybe that opens up a clean takedown for Ankalaev. So it was interesting to see that play out. And it's like after the first few rounds, you're like, okay, now he's going to open up and really start swinging. And then it just never happened. So it's, always one thing to look at a fight from the outside looking in. It's like you never know what it looks like until you're in there. So maybe there was something he was seeing that prevented him from like pulling the trigger a couple times. But, solid performance by Ankalaev.